All right, everybody, welcome to episode 1973 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast by crew, for crew, relentlessly mocked by crew, and today including somebody who is crew adjacent. A bit of a stretch from the ordinary. I think we're going to dive right into the guest, just with time constraints and calling an audible, as Keith likes to call it, using those fancy $10 words. We're going to jump right in. We have Big Jonathan Oldham on. How are you, buddy?
Doing well, guys. How are y'all?
Good. Welcome.
And I'm joined by Keith, as always.
Howdy.
We are both rocking
Yes,
that
sir.
10 RPE koozie.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
So,
Well, heck yeah.
I think we're going to just dive right in here, and we're going to skip kind of the intro. You know, we'll do the what are you wearing, because I see that you're wearing one of the original shirts, John.
OG. This is like the second line OG. My first one that I was so in love with actually tore in the dryer, so I was really happy when they brought this one back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but this was actually one of the ones that I bought. Like, well, you know, when I first met Messonomics, I fell in love with them just because they had the Lift logo on the hat. It was the camo, and I saw that way back when on Instagram, and I was like, I gotta have that. I think Tanner actually said he like took the photo on the bench in his backyard or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it had all three of the Lift hats on it, and I was like, that fits me perfectly. I ordered some of the hats, and I want to say I ordered like the OG red shirt, and this one I just had, you know, like I supported them as much as I could. I've still got the OG sweatshirt with the, you know, the sewn in emblem on it, and yeah. So this is one of my favorites. One of the OG shirts.
It's one of my favorites too. I distinctly remember begging them to bring it back. So when they finally did, yeah. Sorry, honey. Another order coming in. I'm wearing a wrestling shirt. I'm wearing Joe Hendry. We went to my kid's school today, and he has a matching one of these, but he won't wear it because people keep asking, "Who's on your shirt?" He's like, "It's Joe Hendry," and they're like, "What does that mean?" And then he just got really mad and took off his shirt at school. So, right.
Not everybody's cool enough to understand.
Yeah, not everybody gets it. So a little bit of history there, but I mean, we'll dive right in like we normally do. What brought you to Massonomics? Because, you know, you're here. I'm here because I think I met you first, right, on Instagram, and you know, you brought a lot of us in. So what brought you in?
Well, I just, you know, like I said, I saw the hat on, I don't know if it was like an explore page or what, but as soon as I saw it, you know, I went to their page. It was still a pretty new thing. You know, they hadn't really been doing too much. I mean, I don't think I was too far past the days of them like working out at that Y together or whatever it may.
Yeah, YMCA.
Yeah. So they, because I mean, it was definitely more of just like a gym community thing that they had going. They didn't have many shirts or products out yet. But I thought what they were doing was awesome. And, you know, really just, you know, I bought everything I could, you know, anytime they dropped something. And I mean, ultimately, you know, I just stuck around as the brand grew. As soon as they got big enough to where they felt like they could sponsor athletes, they reached out to myself, Chris Wiest, Kyle Hendricks, and Brad Neitzel, I think is his name. So there were four of us. Chris Wiest, you know, he was like the strong dude, but really the other three that they brought on were just longtime supporters.
That's awesome.
You know, it wasn't really like we were like overly strong or anything. We were just loyal to the brand, and they knew that. They kind of just, you know, let us ride the coattails of the brand and represent. And I took a lot of pride in that. You know, I thought it was really awesome. You know, they had faith in me, so I wanted to give them everything I could. And so, yeah, that's kind of it. You know, just stuck loyal. And they were a huge, huge factor into every other company I met. You know, Tanner and Tommy are phenomenal guys, and everybody really loves them. Mm-hmm. So it, you know, that's Travis was the second sponsor for me to roll in from Obsidian. You know, he got in with the dudes, and he reached out, you know, when he was pretty fresh into just wanting to try to get athletes, you know, put together for his ammonia. I thank the world to Travis. I love Travis so much. I think after that came Stronghouse, rest in peace. I I met them at the 2020 Arnold. That didn't really happen. Joe Sullivan had that at Pinnacle Performance. They canceled the Arnold that year, like 2 days before everybody was supposed to go. So we still showed up. I met all the guys that owned Strong House. They were really cool dudes. I had my mullet flowing, pounding beers. So so we just hit it off really well, and they were really cool guys. So they brought me on with Strong House, and then Massonomics actually got me in with a supplement company when I did their podcast when I went up to Western Northeast South Dakota. That was a rad trip. But they had
I remember
at the time.
Yeah, you were one of the few people they actually like brought in, or that was pretty cool. Did they pick you up in the limo, or was that Chad?
They picked me up in the limo.
You. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, they had one of their buddies. He had a limousine rental, and I came out into the airport, and he was holding my baby photo on a sign.
That's right.
Western Northeast South Dakota, Jonathan Oldham, and so he grabbed my bag, and we walked outside, and I was like looking around. Tommy's luscious hair just comes popping out of the back of his head.
That's
and great. I was like, no way. So we took probably like a whopping 15-minute tour around all of Aberdeen.
That's all you need.
Drank a couple of beers, and we went back to Tommy's later that night and did the podcast. So that's they got me on with I can't even remember the name now.
Well, they're not around anymore.
Yeah, they haven't been associated together for a few years.
They closed.
Oh, the company itself. Okay.
Yeah, the company.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, they went up kaput too. And then I did supplements for a while with Huck.
Mm-hmm.
Huck's we fit like puzzle pieces. We get along pretty easily together. So they definitely opened the doors to pretty much everybody. I owe everything to Masson. Like I said, they pretty much opened the doors for me as far as potential in powerlifting.
It's funny you say that about you and Huck, because I say it all the time on this podcast that when I'm around Huck Finn, and then you weren't at the last Arnold, I don't think, but you were at the one before that. Like the three of us get together and we just become a menace. Like it was so much fun. Just for some reason, if you know me in real life and you know Huck Finn, like you wouldn't put us together, but we get together and we just have a hell of a time. We will get to the Arnold.
It's like that perfect storm, man. I mean, it is. It's like it's a tornado. It's just, and it's got a long path.
I'd want to drop your Instagram handle in case people don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah, Bacon and Beer Bells. Beer Bells.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be shocked if anybody listening to this doesn't know who you are.
Well,
did we actually introduce him by name, or have we just been? We didn't say who it is.
I said him before you first, which
that's
I immediately was like, well, that's the direction we're going today. And where are you located at? If you want to tell people area.
No, Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah,
home of obesity and crime.
So.
Is there ever any? I'm going to do one more and then you jump in, Keith, because I just want to get through like the standard 3. You said you've been a supporter from day one. Is there something you didn't get that you wish you did? A shirt, shorts.
There's actually several things because I was so proud that I had when I got divorced, my ex-wife gave a multitude of things that I did not know to an old friend. And so like there's several items like the lift hoodie that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I never got that. I think there's several pairs of shorts. The only thing is like I hate wearing shorts that get close. So like anything that was like the mesh shorts, I missed a lot of pairs of those. I never got a blue pair of the lift shorts. Kind of sad just because,
Have you tried the new shorts?
No, not the new Massonomics. They I would like those though, because those are more like
they're a lot shorter.
Live Large, Live Large did a pair of those too that I've got that are those are good mesh shorts. Those are nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the length on those.
I think they're only 5.5 on the inseam.
and
Yeah.
size down. Whatever you are in mesh, go down one, and they'll fit
Yeah.
nice and snug. Like they won't be too tight, but because like I wear when I put the XL on, the legs are almost like they're a little too wide. But when I go into the large, it's like, oh, they actually like hug my fucking quad and hamstring kind of nice, but like not too tight. So I would definitely recommend just a hair down on size for those.
Okay. Well, I can definitely do that. That's like the Ranger panties. I do have 2 pairs of their Ranger shorts.
Oh, the silkies.
Yeah, I love the silkies, man.
Me too. I only have 2 pairs.
Yeah, I have 2 pairs of those as well. And those stay in rotation pretty regularly.
All right, I'm gonna switch gears here real quick and do so we have a game we like to play. It's called Least Fun, Most Fun. I give you one topic and you just kind of elaborate as little or as much as you want on basically the most fun thing about it and the least fun thing about it. So this will kind of segue into a few other topics, or at least we can kind of go in depth on it. So, Big John, least fun, most fun, being a firefighter.
Being a firefighter is by far the most fun thing you can do as an adult, and I highly recommend it to anybody who does not have a career set up yet. I followed my dad's footsteps into it. I really could have cared less to become a paramedic with it. My current department did send me on to get my paramedic license, and now I'm super grateful for that. I think it's a very gratifying thing to do. I'm definitely an adrenaline junkie. I love the fact that any day that I go into work, it's 24-hour shifts. You put your gear on the truck at 7 in the morning, and until 7 a.m. the next morning, you have no idea when that tone is going to go off, what is going on. It's just the chaos of the world is at your hands. And some days it's nothing, other days there's no rest. So, but at the same time, it's almost like working at a frat house. We're always goofing off. We're always having fun. I'm a firehouse cook. I love cooking. Eating is like one of our number one priorities for the day. Like my dad said, they'll fire a good employee before they fire a good cook at the fire station.
Nice.
But yeah, it's we work out every morning. We got our normal routine of probably the first 30 minutes to an hour. Everybody's the off going shift is talking with us. We all drink coffee and just kind of shoot the breeze for a little bit about what they did. Things at hand. We're good housewives. We all sweep, vacuum, mop. We clean toilets and bathrooms every morning. Very clean, very clean.
Nice.
But
do you know
go ahead.
Do you know what your record of like calls in a 24-hour shift is, or necessarily is there like a house record versus like your PR for calls like in one day?
Gosh, well, the department I'm at now, my career department, we're more of a elderly like retirement type.
Okay.
It's not. There was a department that I worked at for 3.5 years during COVID, and it's much more in the more dilapidated part of Birmingham. A lot more fires, lots more like crime, like shootings, stabbings, overdoses. And they definitely that's one of the busiest departments in the state. And when I worked there, I mean, you rock and rolled start to finish. And it was nothing to have 20 to 30 calls in a shift. Yeah. And in my department now, we don't transport. We're all paramedics, but we don't transport people to the hospital.
Okay.
We get on scene, we stabilize patients, and we have a private ambulance company that comes in and takes the patient over and takes them to the hospital. And if they need extra personnel, we can ride in with them and carry our drug box or whatever. But most of the time we go back to the house. But when I worked at that other department that was out in the ghetto area, we did transport. I went to the hospitals a lot. I sat on the wall a lot. And that stunk more, especially, if you get a call, you got to take somebody downtown, that's 2-3 hours that you're probably going to be out of bed.
Mm.
And that's pretty draining for the next day while you're off work. So
I imagine so.
But I guess that would be the least fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it's got its pros and cons for sure. Your least fun days are just going to be your more labor intensive. Because I mean, once a fire's put out, we've made quite the mess. There's tools everywhere. There's air packs everywhere. You got water damage everywhere. If you caught a hydrant, you've laid a lot of line on the ground that you got to get put back up on the truck. And then once you get back to the station, you got to fill bottles, fill other bottles. You got to clean all your tools. It's just a lot. So once the fire's out, it's really the work has just started.
Makes sense.
And so that's a low point for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that outside of that, you'll have to go pick up grandma at 2 a.m. Get out of bed. She fell. That's a pretty common thing. And they can't help it. They need you. So
yeah.
But
still admirable for sure.
Nobody likes getting out of bed and having to groggily make their way to the truck. But that's part of it. And if that's the worst part of the job, then I'll do it every day.
No, that makes sense. So I've met you a couple times, right? Like the Arnold,
Yes,
Lift Hard, Live Easy. Always a hell of a time.
Yep.
I think after the first Arnold I met you at, I actually at the Lift Hard, Live Easy, I bought you a case of beer because I didn't know you could drink
Yes,
at the Arnold. And then you're like, no, man, I got a whole, and you just shared yours with me. So I had to make sure I paid those back. So,
my guy.
Always a hell of a time. Just come running up to you. You're in a Speedo and a vest.
Yeah, that was my first interaction. I don't even know if I don't think I met you until Lift Hard Live Easy, but I was like, we were in each other's presence when Dan Bell and the Mountain were going back and forth deadlifting, and you were helping load plates for that in 2023 Arnold, I believe. I had I had a front row seat basically right there because I knew on the schedule when it was going to happen. I was like, I want to watch these two fuckers deadlift, and your ass was like right in front of me the whole fucking time. I literally mean your ass.
Well, it was that was odd too because we were at the Strength Co booth, and then Travis hit me up at the Obsidian booth, and he was like, "Hey man, he makes Thor's ammonia for Thor's gym. It's called Thor's Power.
I didn't know that.
And so
Me neither.
yeah,
Good for him.
so Travis makes Thor stuff. He's very proud of that. But he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Will you run these over to Thor over at the road booth?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem." So I ran over there, and Dan was sitting there, and so I'm buddies with Dan. So I was like, "Dan," I was like, "Will you give these to Thor?" Like Travis wanted me to give them to him. And Dan looked at me and was like, "I'm not talking to his ass. You go give them to him."
That's what I figured Dan would say. That tracks.
Yeah, and so Dan, they opened the bank pulley, whatever fence line.
There you go.
And I went in there, and I'm wearing my vest and my pink zebra Speedo. And, first time I've ever met Thor. And so I was like, "Hey, Thor," I was like, "Travis wanted me to give these to you." He looked at me. He was super, super nice. Very, very gracious, thanked me. And, once that happened, the road guys that were running the booth were like, "Well, if Dan and Thor y'all are more than welcome to stay." And they were like, "Yeah, we need somebody to help load the plates." So,
yeah, those big fuckers weren't loading their own plates. That's for sure.
No,
they don't think they loaded a single plate that day.
No, and it was pretty impressive watching Thor with the kilo math though, because I'm terrible with that. But
yeah, I'm struggle.
And Dan, it's funny because Dan kept having to remind me to not be in direct view of Thor's eyesight while he's deadlifting. He's like, he doesn't want to see your big ass in the Speedo while he's trying to pull max weight.
That's great.
And it was funny. Dan's how Dan does that rebound Mario coin sound dance when he gets done deadlifting. He's got a spring loaded dismount. Yeah. He kept the final couple of deadlifts. He was like, "Hey, go stand by the chalk bucket so that way, if I bounce, I don't fall into it." So,
that's fucking 450 pounds of man just jumping at you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd just be like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna push you. I'm not gonna try to catch your ass."
Yeah, as he pulverizes me through a chalk bucket.
Yeah, that was a cool day.
Yeah, and then after that, I think you went. I went and hung out with you at the Strength Co booth while you're doing the deadlift party. Yeah, and that was kind of where everything kind of went insane. Dan was like, "I'm not lifting," because everybody was waiting for him to lift, and I think he did 4 plates or 5 plates or something, and or 6 or 7. He didn't go as high as I think everybody planned he was going to do, but he had just
pulled
done
like 800
that,
the
right?
day before. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But essentially it was me, you, and Dan just drinking beer, and you
That's
guys
pretty
were
cool.
deadlifting with some bigger names. Yep. And then I think the next time I would have saw you in person was the Lift Hard Live Easy, the
Mhm.
first one. Yep. And I showed up with Steve, yelled at you because you were coming into the parking lot, and I was like, I had a gift for you, and I threw a case of beer at you. And yeah. And
My
then
God.
the next day, that night would have been Tanner's house.
Yep.
Yep. And then the
Yep.
Yeah,
next
Friday, yeah.
I met him Thursday because you guys rolled in Thursday night at Pounders. So I think I actually sat next to you guys at dinner that night. It was kind of cool.
Yep.
It was a good place. It was a good, I still will always say that Thursday is like the most fun night because it's just like I don't know, less overwhelming than Friday. So it's just kind of like
Mhm.
almost like at least the first year because it was kind of like more of an impromptu kind of thing.
Well, I think the
Yeah.
business starts on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
weigh-ins
this one they had the itinerary start layout.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And I wasn't there for the first Thursday, but last year I was there for Pounders. And all right. So that gets
I
all
hate
the
I
kind
missed
of
that one.
Yeah. You get into business.
No, go ahead. You're gonna say something, John.
Yeah, I hate I missed this last go around. I'm supposed to compete at the Arnold this year, March 1st. Dave's putting the meet on. I've got some logistics issues that I will not know until the 1st of February. As of now, Joe Sullivan just started coaching me here probably a month ago,
Oh, cool.
and I'm super. He's awesome. I've really enjoyed it so far. I definitely feel the bounce back because it's been a while since I've been into the heavier stuff, and I definitely feel better coming in now. But hopefully I'll get that under my belt, and I am signed up for Lift Hard, Live Easy. So
That's
I
awesome.
should be competing there.
Love to hear that.
I will likely be at the Arnold. I think that the Arnold will be a tough one for me to miss. As much as I love the Lift Hard Live Easy and would make a solid essay long argument that the Lift Hard Live Easy is the better event. But the Arnold is 6 hours away, and Lift Hard Live Easy is 21 hours away. So,
Gosh, yeah.
like it's gonna be one of those.
Yeah.
I've done Lift Hard Live Easy twice. Done Crew Falls now. The Arnold I can keep doing. I don't really have a ton of excuses, so I think that I'll definitely see you in March. Right now, it's a 95% chance. I just need to check with Tanner and see about whether I need tickets and stuff. Um, so then I think that would lead up to I think the elephant in the room. I think I mentioned it during the intro here. That's
Yep.
about the time where you found out you were going to be a dad and you started the Stout Daddies.
Yep.
And I was such a fan, jumped on, friend of yours. I was like, let's push, let's have fun and all of that. But obviously that didn't go as well as I think you had planned. And I know you and I
Not at all.
we've talked extensively about it. And, part of what I really wanted to do when having you on here was, I never really mentioned it by name, but I think that there was definitely some talk even on this podcast about just how disappointed some of us were.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think
With
that,
reason.
I mentioned to you, I'm not losing a friend over $60. That was not anything I was ever going to do. So I would love it if maybe you felt like it. You could kind of explain what happened to the people that don't know. Because I think right now it's like me, you, and Tanner that know. and of course,
Yeah.
Hannah and the people in your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so that I when Gideon when we found out we were pregnant, I think it was the weekend after that was the Arnold that I knew I was having a boy. So we did the gender reveal party. I went to the Arnold, super stoked. And as much as I was excited to be a father, I will say that I don't think I was quite I wasn't quite performing the role of a husband and a father, like a father that I now feel like I should have. I'm not trying to put myself down over and over, but there are a lot of things that I regret the way I handled. And so with that, I had some of my own personal. It came to the point that I fixated on social media to be my true. I wasn't overly happy with the way things were in my life, and I got a lot of attention for being a goofball on social media. And that was. Can y'all still hear me? Everything's freezing up on.
Yep,
I
we still have
can
your
hear
audio.
you.
Your video is frozen, but your audio is fine. So just keep rolling, boss.
Okay, cool. All right. But yeah, so I just fixated so much on social media. My ex-wife and I grew apart a lot. Um, and I just, I dug into it, more than I should have. And once it all came to fruition, like my ex-wife and I had our disagreements and all. When Gideon was about 6 months old, um, we decided it wasn't going to work. Gut wrenching. I could have never imagined being divorced, especially just becoming a father. In the moment, she was very on board with the Stout Daddy stuff. I did start that like probably right before he was born. Um, and I just thought it was a cool idea of like a Discord of like dads who lift to like, come and, you know, shoot the shit on, PRs in the gym and life PRs. Cause I mean, it's a super, once you become a dad, man, like there's nothing else, it's the
Mhm.
best feeling in the world.
Mhm.
And so like, that's all I wanted to do was, just provide a community of like, where everybody could like really, be there for each other in highs and lows. I mean, you damn well know, just like today with Gideon being sick, there's some days that'll just absolutely deplete you as a father. You'll have bad gym days, you'll have bad dad days. But I also tried to lean into it because I was still very proud of being a dad outside of. But it got to where it was bitter. It wasn't very cordial for a while, and like I said, I'll admit a lot of. I don't. There's no reason to go into detail with. I just wasn't who I was, and I wasn't very proud of some of the things I'd done, and I was kind of put on a ledge of. I was borderline being exposed just of a lot of shittiness. And she, and that's the thing is we're on pretty good terms, now fairly. Um, so it's not a down talk that either. It's really I kind of felt bad being on the Stout Daddies platform when I didn't feel like I was performing, like playing the role that I should. Um, and my ex-wife at that point was also like, I'm going to prove that you're not that man that should be performing. Um, do I think looking in hindsight, I don't think. I think I got in my head way too. Um, I kind of bowed out of it. I was in a bad circumstance. Financially, just with all the court and everything. Um, and I really just, like I had a little bit of a meltdown. And oddly enough, um, I even in all of that, I personally, because Goob was sponsoring me with supplements at that same time.
Mm-hmm.
He had brought me on board with the exposed pre-workout and everything. And I think the world of Goob and what he does. So when all that happened, I actually reached out to Goob myself. Kind of wanted to give him the gist, but I don't know if he did it on purpose or not. But he just kind of avoided me. He never got back with me. I know he had been reached out to, and I kind of wanted to admit fault there. Until I talked to you, Joey. I didn't know Tanner once again stepped in and was fixing my shit for me. And once again, it's like, I mean, not that they had to or needed to. And I really, part of me would love to have Stout Daddy's reemerge, but I wouldn't want it to be a solely me thing because I think it's a great thing. It was a badass logo, and the whole movement and momentum behind it was amazing too. I really think.
Oh no.
Well, there's some slight technical difficulties. We'll try
Yep.
to get Big Jonathan back, but
He's still
uh,
here.
okay.
Just kind of got disconnected there. John, can you hear us? Okay. I'll fill in a little bit there, if John's okay with that. I don't think he can tell me if he is or isn't, but Essentially, yeah. I don't know how much Tanner wants me to say, but Tanner reached out to me once he kind of caught wind of what had happened, and yeah, he did. He said get a list together of all the people that are the crossover between Massonomics and the Stout Daddies, and he stepped up and kind of did what he could to make that part right.
That's good.
And then John went off social media for a long
Yeah,
time.
like a year or at least 9 months. He was gone for a while.
Yep. And then he reached out to me, and that was about, oh my gosh, that was back in the summer, I think, spring or summer, and you know, I'm getting messages from Big Eddie. I'm getting messages from Ryan. Like and all these people are like, Jonathan Oldham's trying to get a hold of you. And in my head, I was just like, uh-oh. I was actually like nervous. I know it turned out to be really good. I'm hoping John can come back on.
I would say just text him and say if his computer's wonky, just try to do it from his phone for the last half hour or something. Because I know he said he had a little bit of time left. But yeah, I'm kind of on the outside of all that, other than hearing about it through some circles. But I was not even familiar with what it was until after it was already went down, kind of thing. So, but it was cool that John wanted to come on. I think Joey had been in talks with him on and off for, I don't know, several months about maybe coming on and telling his story. And I think he was just in a place that he finally wanted to come on and actually share a little bit. And he opened up a lot, so I would love to get him back on for a little bit. But if not, we can.
Well, he's trying. He's trying. He'll be
Oh,
back in a minute.
cool. Well, let's see. Let's go. Let's hook up.
Actually, why don't I do while I'm waiting for him? The Wham Holla.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna go back up
We
to
got a
general
couple
topics.
names. Yeah.
Yep.
Like let's fill those in. So this, oh geez, since last recording, I got nailed, and it was the
That's what she said.
worst. Yep. I got nailed at work where they don't play Christmas music. But so I
You told
landed
us
from
in-
I
Did you
landed
tell
from
us in the
Crew
last
Falls.
one?
Yeah, I don't think I told this story.
Okay.
Because I don't think we've actually recorded and had a chance to do it since.
Gotcha.
I landed from Crew Falls. Yeah, because the last recording would have been the recap, and I don't think we did the Wham Holla.
Okay.
I landed from Crew Falls at like 10:30. Then I had to go back to work for like 6 in the morning to do an inventory, which is pre-hour, like before hours. And that's when they actually play music. And I got fucking whammed. So I'm tired, I'm miserable, and I'm pissed that I have to go to work on my day off. And I go in there and there's like a mess and there's just stuff
Oh,
all
that's
over
right.
like I couldn't even get into the kiosk because there's like skids up against it. And that's when I heard it. And that face, the selfie I took was literally me as soon as I saw it. I was just like, are you kidding me? Nick got whammed. Sorry, buddy.
Yep. Saw that.
Yeah. I want to
Brian,
say the most
Brian
in
forgot. Brian forgot that he got whammed, and then we had to fucking
we had to
like
remind him because he was
yeah.
the
It's like
first one out. I reminded
yeah.
him
It
on
was like
this
a
podcast.
yeah. That's dummy.
um, I think my favorite story is Big Ben been a while. Whammed himself.
Oh, because he was trying to like
He was
verify
trying to figure
which
out what
one it
song it
was,
was.
and then he just said, I'm out. I'm out for the year, boys." Hey, there he
Yep.
is.
And then just before John jumps back in, Carp got whammed, I guess, at the mall or something like that. So those are our friends that are in Wham Holla this week. We were talking about Whamageddon. Do you play?
Not at all. I don't know what that is.
So essentially from
I think I
December
just got whammed by this computer.
December 1st to December 24th, you have to avoid hearing Last Christmas by Wham. And when you finally hear it and clue in, you have to post that you got whammed. So I play it every year with this podcast. So anyway, I kind of filled in that, you, after what had happened, that you disappeared for a bit. Tanner reached out to me to kind of fill in the gaps of the overlap between us and Stout Daddies. And then you reached out to me with Hotel, and that's about where I ended. So if you have anything else you want to fill in.
So it's just really, with divorce and everything, trying to, get my wits about me. I really prided myself on being a family man. I had good morals. I really, really was so proud of having everything I did. House, got the pets, the wife, the I built a freaking garage because the strength co-sponsored me.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
remember watching
I
that
just,
video and not realizing everything had gone down after the fact, and I was like, ah, shit, I didn't realize you weren't in that gym anymore. It was a pretty sweet gym.
yeah, man. He gave me a whole home gym. I mean, everything I needed. And, I spent 32 grand to build a garage to put it all in, um, if I could have uprooted that garage and just moved into it, I would have. I miss that thing so much. I mean, it literally was as perfect as it could have been. I had my beer fridge, my man cave in the back. Like, um, yeah, no, it was my favorite place to be. I loved that gym so much. But but yeah, and that's where a lot of Stout Daddy stuff was. That's where I was was proud. I had like my Stout Daddy's area. But yeah, that's it. I just had to. I really had. I wasn't. It wasn't ever on me to blame my ex-wife for any problems between us, but I could admit my faults, and it took me a long time coming out of divorce, um, to truly put everything on the table. And oddly enough, January 1st last year, with Hannah, uh, I really got everything off my chest. I really came clean about a lot of things. And as good as it felt, it absolutely it was like the earthquake happened, and then the months to follow were just the tsunami and the aftermath. And so probably the first half of this year, at least the first 6, 7 months, I deleted social media. I completely backed out of everything. Um, and I tried to get my wits about me. Like I didn't want the affirmation of social media anymore. I didn't want to fixate on that. I wanted to focus on my true reality and just, what life was, on the outside that I hadn't paid attention to for so long. Um, for the time being, at least, I've given up alcohol. I don't drink right now. That's that was something that was also really, it went from being something that I did for fun, to something that became a crutch just because, I was having problems, just dealing with myself. And I'm not really one for pity or anything. I never would have imagined being that guy that, did what I did with Stout Daddies. That really, I can't imagine how many people that upset and pissed off. And like, I really would love to figure out how, once things get to where I feel like I'm back completely leveled out, I would at least, love to get shirts done and just give them out. Just like, at least start a community and, just take the bite of it myself. Cause, I still have a list of names of people. I know Tanner tried to make right for me, but it's not on Tanner or Tommy or Massonomics or you. Um, that's my own fault. That's my own doing. I'll openly apologize to anyone, everyone. It was a shitty ass, but I've everybody knows of someone who's done shit like that before, and that's not something that I would ever have wanted to label myself. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, man. I feel like I've got a lot of making up to do, and that's ever since I came back to social media. Um, I haven't even entertained the whole thought of sponsorships or anything anymore. I want to be supportive of the brands that supported me. But with the way things went, before I disappeared, I just think it's best that, I'm just a normal guy,
Mm-hmm.
I think, I can lift heavy. I can be part of the community. People can see me for what they want to see me. Like I still love to hang and party with everybody. Um, I just want to be,
Well,
I just want to be a normal dude.
well, it sounds like you're going to try to prioritize sobriety to some extent for a while. So you got our support on that, brother. If that means like a lifetime of sobriety, or just not drinking like an asshole 90% of the time, and just kind of saving it for that once or twice a month, whatever you got to do. But I think if that's something you're self aware enough to know, okay, I got a little bit of a problem here, then do whatever you got to do is right for you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's it. Is I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I know what I need for now, and I just don't need it.
Yep.
Like I said, like I love cracking a beer with y'all, enjoying it, and soaking that in, like you got your great beers, the shower beer, the airport beer, the hanging with the homies on the weekend beer.
I do like a shower beer.
Well,
Yeah.
I even last week, the Crew Falls episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
realized
Kim. We
that
were, yeah.
I had influenced a bunch of people to start drinking 0% Guinness.
Yeah.
And it was one of those ones that I had jumped on, started drinking. And even last night, I got home from work and, I commented like, oh, you guys are in control of your addictions. But like, I got home last night, terrible day, and I reached in for that Guinness. And sometimes that's where it starts. So obviously, you have our support. One of the reasons I wanted to get you on here is, I still love you. Like I said, I wasn't losing a friend over that type of thing at all. And I wanted, give you a chance to say what you said and your apologies out to them. So that is
Well, I
that.
appreciate you.
That's
I
that crap
appreciate
out
you
of the
giving me
way.
that opportunity.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
I think we got about 35 minutes, so wherever we want to steer this ship. And I'd like to save
Yeah.
a little bit of time for him to turn it back on us. So maybe do 20 minutes and then give him some time at the end.
Yeah, I just really wanted to get the heavy shit out of the way
No,
first.
I know. I don't want to have it
So
to be cut off with
so
his deadline.
why do you lift so heavy? Like obviously as a firefighter you want to stay in shape, right? Like I understand that aspect of it, but like what brought you into it? What was the one day when you were just like, yeah, this is the thing I'm gonna do for a while?
Well, it's weird, man, because I grew up playing soccer. I was pretty small.
That makes sense with
And
your legs.
and that's what's so funny is I loved it. I loved soccer growing up. I was obsessed with it. And PE my freshman year, I guess probably about 12, 13 years old, I became a skateboarder. Fell in love with it. I was a punk. Um, I don't know if y'all knew much about skating. Corey Duffel was like who I idolized. We had like he wore skinny jeans, leather jacket, had like the dyed hair. So I followed that line. But I still on the weekends went to my soccer games and everything. And my freshman year of high school, I was just messing around in PE, and I kicked a 53-yard field goal.
Jesus.
And they called me up over the field house, and I went up there, and like I said, I was wearing my leather jacket, had my dyed hair. The head coach looked at me and he was like, "You do drugs, boy?" And I just laughed at him. I was like, "No." He was like, "I want you to try out for the football team." And so I started. I went, and ironically, I mean it wasn't the season yet, so I was going to workouts and everything, and I hated working out. I couldn't stand it. Everybody's screaming at you to get to bench press and everything, and like I couldn't stand it, man. I wasn't strong. It was embarrassing to me, and and I guess that's why I suck so bad at bench today. But but
We all suck at bench. Like, let's not pretend. Every powerlifter
but
sucks at bench, no matter how good they are.
Well, he benches fucking 450, 1.9 pounds in competitions. I don't know if that's sucky, but
I know, but I bet if you
guess.
asked him, he wished he could do more.
Why haven't you fucking bench
Yes.
500, man? What's like it's just right there.
Dude, and I mean, that 451 actually moved really well. It shocked me. It shocked me how easy that went up, and it actually gave me hope. That maybe one day I could hit 5. But at the same time, today, 385. The fact that I benched it, I was stunned. So, like,
Bench
I
be
still
like
got a
that.
long way to go. Yeah, it'll humble you real quick. But yeah, I quit. I quit football. I hated working out. Just wasn't for me. And then my senior year, 3 years later, I'd really fallen out of skateboarding and all. I got a car, grew up, and I wanted to play. So I did. I kicked. I punted. I did kickoffs. I was the starter for the season, and I really wanted to go kick somewhere in college. So I sent my video around everywhere, just local schools, and so I just lost my screen somehow. Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yep,
Yep.
you're good.
Dude, I'm so IT just sucky. But yeah, so anyways, I sent the highlight reel they had out for me to like just local schools and everything. And UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham, one of the guys in the athletic department actually reached out to me, and he was like, "You're a really good kicker." He was like, "You got some decent size to you now," and he was like, "I really think it'd be awesome if you come try the rugby team."
Mm.
And so I went to practice, and I gradually fell in love with it pretty hard. And when I started playing rugby in college, that really just made me want to put on size. And so one of the guys that I played with, he and I, started training for a powerlifting comp. We did it down in Troy, Alabama. It was like an APA meet. Can't even remember like the Fed, but
It's the Acolytes Protection Agency.
It's harkening back to the
That's a wrestling joke, yeah.
late 90s, early
Sorry,
2000s.
go ahead.
Well, I was not lifting in the late 90s. No, but I can't even remember my first meet total. It was like 13 something, I think 12, 13 something. But I did that meet. That was in 2013, and then I don't think I did another one probably until 2018, 2019. I took a good hiatus off, and I think once I started, I got back into like wanting to compete, and that was probably 3 or 4 more USAPL meets, and then when I was about 28, I started doing untested meets, and that's when I got my first decent. I got invited down to Joe Corsi invited me to do American Barbell Club's meet down in Gainesville, and I was so stoked to be invited to a meet, and that was the meet that Dan Bell set the all-time world record his first
Cool
time.
to be at.
Yeah, so it wasn't really an overly big meet. Like Dan was a big lifter there, but there weren't really like any other big names lifting. I got to meet him. He was super cool and humble. And Stacy Burr she was down there, and it was cool to meet her. I shot for 2000. That was going to be my first 2000 meet. I got 1973 there, just like I did at the Lift Hard, Live Easy. But then, after that, I got the opportunity to do like hybrid, and I did Showdown where I bombed out in Kansas City. So I've had the opportunity to do some cool platforms. Like I said, I know I'm always going to be more known as the party goofball. Can be strong, but I'm more going to be known for just the personality that comes with. I'm not going to give John Hack a run for his money.
Well, I don't think anyone is really.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, true.
I mean, even going back to that, I bet if you ask John Hack, he says his bench sucks too.
I'll trade with him.
Where did the nickname Bacon come from? Because everybody put in that your nickname is Bacon.
Yeah, so that's a rugby thing. My last name's Oldham, so one of the first
cured ham, yeah.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah, so one of the first rugby practices, the head coach said my last name out loud, and there's this massive dude. He looked like one of the mafia guys from the Irish Brothers. What's the movie I'm thinking of?
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Oh shit.
The fuck. Boondock Saints.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
picturing them right now.
Yeah. So he literally looked like one of the mafia guys from Boondock Saints, and they called him Rogaine. He's bald, so his nickname was Rogaine. But Rogaine said, "Your last name's Oldham?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "No, fuck that. You're Bacon." And I mean, it stuck like glue. I mean, from then on, whether you played rugby with me or not, like Bacon that was it.
It makes perfect sense now that you explain it.
It does. Yeah, I would have never gone with that.
When you put it in words that make sense, now I get it.
Well, that's a good nickname to have for everything else that's out there,
Yeah. Plants? You're into plants?
Yeah, man. I love houseplants. I don't really know like the scientific names for them and stuff, but Hannah and I probably have over 100 houseplants.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's like I and just like the fire service, like I'm like therapists and all have told me I'm not OCD, but like I'm very I love things to be like clean and neat. I like walking into a room and everything looking as it should. I like making my bed, I like everything being, just so. So to walk in and see a bunch of thriving plants and stuff, it just does good, when I walk into that room. And so yeah.
What's your favorite one? Not to put you on the spot. They won't know. They're not going to listen to this.
I've had a rabbit foot fern, and I've had it for probably like 5 or 6 years now. And it looks like it's got these massive spider legs that come out of it. And it's just gotten huge, man. It's been really easy to take care of, but I do love that one. I've got a couple that are, somebody gave us a snake plant when Gideon was born. I love it. I've got a fig tree that I've got in a pot he made me. There's a lot of sentimental ones that I've got. Some lady gave us one. It's a Swedish ivy. It's a World War II plant.
Oh my
So
God.
like it's been around forever.
Damn.
So
I wish I
yeah,
could
no,
show
it's
you
just
I wish I could show you the snake plants in my house because we live with my dad and he got one like
uh-huh.
probably 30 years ago and now they're just giant like 3 foot thick snake plants.
Wow.
Yeah, and we put them outside every summer and they freak out, right? So the one day they started flowering and he was like, "Oh, look, the snake plants are flowering." So I looked it up and I was like, "That's bad." Like they don't want to do that. And then of course the one day my kid snaps a leaf and puts it on her face and they're actually snake plants are actually not poisonous, but their aloe inside of them has little
Yeah.
hooks like asbestos.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were on the phone with poison control. We're just like, we think she ate a snake plant, and they were like, "Ah, crap! Like, watch her for a little bit, make sure there's no bleeding." Like,
Huh.
however, but they are so good for the ecosystem in the house because they
Yeah.
actually filter air like better than anything, better than any other
Mm.
plant, right?
That's smart.
And the reason I brought it up that they flower when they're outside is because if the air in your house is bad, they flower because they flower under distress.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so snake plants are. It was one of those things where I was like, I hate that fucking plant, and then the more I learned about it, I was just like, I want one in every room.
I'm surprised mine aren't blooming like hell.
It's all about the air quality. So you're
Yeah,
good. You're good.
good. No, that is an odd one. Like yeah, we just oddities, house plants, anything that's like I love sentimental stuff too, man. I really love things that mean something.
That came up a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, so
I'm a super. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what's so I hear it's carving pumpkins, so I'm assuming making jack-o'-lanterns. Do you have a go-to thing that every year you're like this is the logo, this is the face I'm putting it in, or do you get kind of creative with it? And what makes you so good at carving pumpkins?
Man, I don't really know. That's funny. That's a funny one. I
That's
bet my
what
mom
this
probably. I bet my mom
Yeah.
probably put that one in.
Yeah, it's
Um,
cool when you hear what other people like when you put someone on the spot of like, tell me, answer this and this about your loved one, and then it's like when we get to regurgitate it back to you, a lot of people are kind of like, oh, where the hell did that come from? So it's one of my
yeah,
favorite
no,
parts.
my mom loves doing family stuff all together, and I really have always loved that. We go and make ornaments every year together.
Oh, cool.
So the carving pumpkins, anytime I typically sit down and want to do something, I try to go a little. I invest a little too much into, to the point that like everybody else is done, and you've still got like 3 days left on yours. Like
I can relate. Yeah.
yeah. So I do distinctly remember one year I just decided I was going to do Hank Hill. And I wish I had a photo of it on hand. It was actually a pretty damn good Hank Hill pumpkin. Very spooky.
Very spooky.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby.
Whoa.
Love that show.
Wait, so how do you hate olives? Like this has got to be one of those things
Yeah,
that
olives
is
are
like,
nice.
no, you shush your mouth. Because like my wife
It's
hates them
just
too, right? But I love
it's
them.
disgusting.
She's a smart woman.
Well, and so the thing is too is to be fair, if you put an olive in front of me,
Okay.
I will try it. I'm not just like that's disgusting. But every time I do it, I'm like I just can't. It's partially a texture thing. It's partially a taste thing.
Mm.
I think it does go hand in hand. Um, yeah, olives are like licorice. It's just not for me, man. The taste is just
Oh, I love
Joey
licorice.
also loves licorice,
Yeah,
and we'll
actually,
talk about it for 7 minutes if we don't stop him and move
I
on.
found these zins. These zins are licorice flavored,
I knew you would say that.
that's disgusting.
It
but
does sound
they're
disgusting.
also like only 6 milligrams, and I'm used to the nines. So I was like, no, I guess I'm down to sixes. I actually prefer the six licorice over any other flavor of nines because apparently I just want the licorice. I don't even want the nicotine anymore.
That's so odd.
It
That's
kind of
so odd.
was like I was because I was planning on cutting back anyway, And then to find out these were 6s and my preferred one, I was like, all right, cool. All right, that tracks. So
Yeah, well,
I wonder if there's a Venn diagram of people that don't like olives and don't like licorice. Like, I wonder if there's a
I
similar
feel like
flavor there.
olives have a lot of different flavors. Like I've been eating a lot of Mediterranean food, and they literally put in olives like in the hummus or in the salad that comes with it, but it's like a weird like purple looking olive.
Yeah,
yeah, yep.
It's not
those
like
are
a
the
regular
best
olive.
ones.
It's not like an I don't know.
No, those green
It's
olives that you get like in
the
the
finger
Amico,
foods.
yeah, or whatever, like those greens ones, the
Yeah.
Menzilla, they're mid. Those are entry level olives. You start getting
All
into that
right.
warm olive plate from the Mediterranean where they like warm up the olives and they're all a little soggy and the seeds are still in them. Oh yeah, those are top tier. A lot of food talk on this podcast, John. A lot of food talk.
We got some games we're gonna play with you here. So we have a little. We'll probably do a Mount Rushmore and an FMK, and then roll into a overrated, underrated for us. So I'll kick it off with a little FMK. You're familiar with Fuck, Marry, Kill? You know, I'm gonna give you three
Yep.
topics, and you have to F, M, and K one of them. So as soon as I find where the hell I have it, so okay, FMK just specifically for you, John. So
Okay.
Speedos, cowboy hats, or sorry, cowboy boots.
Cowboy hats. We call them hats here, Keith.
Yeah, I misspoke. Speedos, cowboy boots, nose rings, FMK.
Speedos, cowboy boots, and nose rings. I think you got to marry cowboy boots. It's just something about the, like the country in it. Hardworking. It's just good. Every good hardworking blue collar man's got a good pair of shit kickers. And there's a lot to be said about just the stability of that. So I'm gonna go marry the boots. And then we're fornicating with Speedos, man.
There you go.
It's like it's a sex symbol,
Yeah.
Fornicate.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody has said fornicate on this podcast yet. So good work.
Yeah, I think Grant just said F because he wasn't gonna swear.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
No, yeah.
Try to keep it G-rated, but
we let people do whatever they want to do. I won't be G-rated, but everybody else can be.
Oh, Keith. Yeah.
It depends on my atmosphere and my crowd.
Well, yeah,
trust me,
kids,
like I'm.
your kids right near you. So I got you.
Yeah, this is definitely an R-rated podcast for the most part. I think we have an explicit logo next to
We are pirates. Good
It's
stuff.
driving me nuts.
Yeah, all right, it's driving me nuts.
So then, obviously, you got to kill the nose ring. I guess it didn't make the cut today.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to look killer-esque, I guess, with it. Maybe, I don't know. I do love it though. I love my nose ring, but yeah, it's got to go.
I mean, compared to the other one, that's got to go.
Yeah.
In this category, it's always good to pick like three things we know people love to kind of really twist the knife and make them really choose.
Yeah, make the hard choices here on unpaid and underrated.
Yep, we're not here for silliness. We're here for serious. At least me. Okay.
The FMK category was definitely the one I got the most feedback response on when I asked it. See what y'all got though.
What was your favorite one?
Well, Tyler Stone, who used to be on the Massonomics podcast, said Massonomics podcast host.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Tyler, but we're all going to kill you, buddy.
Yeah, we're not. That's dirty.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think he was, kind of killed
himself on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
we won't make you do that on here. But that's a really funny suggestion. Good work, Tyler.
That's good stuff.
He's not listening.
There was there's one that said me at 18, me at 25, and me now.
Oh.
And yeah, I gave that one a good bit of thought throughout the day. Me now is
that's
okay. No, I love that.
Well, me now with the past year that I've had, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like hit the reset button on that one. But 18 and 25, man, I really I got married at 25. I was a really good guy. And then when I graduated, I was really good too. But I think I would have been better, obviously more in tune with myself at 25 for fornicating. So marry me at 18, fornicate the 25-year-old John, and then kill the 34-year-old John.
That's great.
I'm going to be honest with you. I might steal that.
Yeah, no, I think
I
that's
do
a
like
great one. I think that's a
Yeah.
really good one.
It might
it's
appear
fun.
on this podcast, but it might also just appear in like everyday life, my job interviews, and like that might just come up. Like,
I just don't like the aspect of like which do you like better yourself,
yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah.
this, and
Like,
this. But like when I'm too fixate, I don't want to fixate on suicide by saying I'll kill myself. So
oh
I
no,
can't play that
Oh
game.
no.
nobody
No, I know.
went
I
there. Come
understand.
on.
Yeah, but you don't have brains like I do. You fuck. You don't have this rabbit hole of like
I would
fixation
say
on
it
shit
more.
that
I
I
would
can't
say it
stop.
more like, who are you more in love with,
Yeah,
right, or
who would you
something
rather hang
like
out
that.
with?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or who
No,
are
that
you
was
more
really
proud?
good.
Are you
Thanks for
proud
that.
of eight? Yeah, I do dig that. Cool.
Yeah, if I have like medics show up after this because of y'all for playing that game.
Well, you're your own medic at this right now, so.
That's right.
I'm gonna hit you with a Mount Rushmore because I am a little interested in how this one plays out. There's a lot of music on the talk on this podcast because I'm kind of into deathcore and some of those other metal areas. I know you are too.
Yep.
So I want to do your Mount Rushmore of heavy bands.
Okay. So picking the big four, huh? I I'm pretty generic with my top two. I love Knocked Loose. I really like Knocked Loose a lot, more so for their not just their melodic tunes, but they get so deep in lyrics, man.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Garris is amazing when it comes to writing lyrics. That whole album they did, "A Tear in the Fabric of Life," from start to finish. First song, he gets in a wreck, kills his girlfriend. It's like a 21-minute EP. They actually did a whole YouTube automated or like an animated clip, like to go through the whole thing from start to finish. And she dies. He deals with it, and then at the end of it, he takes his life because he can't live without being with her. So it was like a really deep thing. Like that, I thought that was incredible the way they put that album together.
On the
Then
last, I'll interrupt just a second there because Knock Loose is I have a quick I can relate with you story. Was that the last album?
no, they did gosh, what is it? Because I know they did Everything's Quiet Now or Light Divide or not. You're not so good. You're not. You
I'm
won't
not
go before you're supposed to. You won't go
okay.
before you're supposed to. That's their most recent. Sorry.
Yeah, so my buddy sent me one of the songs, right?
Uh huh.
And he goes, "Dude, you got to listen to this." And he knows I'm not heavily into Knock Loose, and
Uh
I
huh.
listened to it thoroughly. And the first thing I said was, "Somebody is unpacking shit during a song." I said, "That's what
Yes.
that is. Like this dude is unpacking something in those vocals." So I will definitely
Yeah.
hand you that. Like he is, as somebody who I liked that one song. I can't name it now, but then like to hear, you're right. Like they are very heavy and emotional while
Yeah.
being heavy and emotional. Like it works perfectly.
Well, that the whole Tear in the Fabric of Life is ironically they dropped that album the day I was heading up to South Dakota to Aberdeen because I
Oh
cried
geez.
on the plane. I cried on the plane listening to it. But it yeah, because they interviewed Brian Garris about it, and he was like, honestly, like I don't have anything to relate to that. Like I didn't experience any trauma in my life like that. He was like, I just, it was a storyline that came up in my head that I put together, and I was like, that's a true artist right there. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, he basically wrote a movie, through an album, and I thought that was really cool. My second one would be Kubla Khan.
Oh
And they are just heavy. They're just heavy.
yes.
Good lifting band. I don't think their lyrics really. I mean, they got some hardcore lyrics. I've got my whole leg sleeve is Knocked Loose references. And then on the ankle, I've got an ankle tattoo. It's a rope around my ankle, and he says it in Swan Song. Matt sings it, and then in Dynasty, the end of Dynasty, they play a clip, and it's from this YouTube series called Soft White Underbelly. And Mark Laeta, he goes and just interviews all these walks of life, whether it's mafia members, prostitutes, drug addicts on the street. He just interviews people. It's really cool. If you ever get bored, Soft White Underbelly on YouTube. But he interviewed Charlie Jones, who was a former prison warden at Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore, Alabama, and that's where all our death row inmates go in Alabama. And so the final question they asked him in the interview was, do you have any trouble living with the fact that you have to press the button to kill these inmates? And he finishes the interview with, I never let their problem become my problem. They did what they had to do. I did what I had to do. And sometimes you just got to let the rough end drag. And that quote right there, just letting the rough end drag. Like I got it tattooed on my ankle literally December 28th of last year, before like my whole world, just kind of collapsed on itself. And it's probably my favorite tattoo I've gotten. That line will speak heavily with me, for the rest of my life. So Kublai Khan hits me at home pretty heavily. The other two, man, it wouldn't really so much be heavy music. More so for the reasons of the people who lead the bands. Alice in Chains.
Hell yeah.
Alice in Chains would definitely be in my Mount Rushmore.
I've been on a big kick lately. God, like Down in a Hole, that live off MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
It's on repeat in the house.
Yeah. Yep. That Nutshell. I really love Don't Follow. Frogs. Man, he just had a lot of pain, man. If you ever get downtime, because I can go into depth on, talking about lead singers too. Lane Staley's got a really, really sad story, man. But he was phenomenal. He was an amazing singer and musician.
Yep.
But he let addiction get the best of him, and he knew it was coming too. And then outside of that, man, I think you might just have to not even give it a band. You might just have to put his face up there for me, because he has several bands that were just all mind blowing. Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, Audio Slave, Temple of the Dog. He even did his own solo stuff for so long, and he was just absolutely incredible. So, which, I mean, I guess Audio Slave, Audio Slave and Soundgarden, I guess, would be the heavy rock aspect. But man, he had a voice and he could sing too. But if I had a Mount Rushmore of music, I'd put that'd probably be my 4. That's a pretty broad span right there.
No, that works for me. I think Alice in Chains is still pretty heavy, because at the time that was what heavy was, right?
For sure.
Right. It's all right.
90s will always be the best to me. It's like 80s music with my dad.
All right.
I'll be that old man.
Well, Keith, is there anything you want to cover before we jump into the unpaid and underrated?
I mean, I tried to add a fair amount of them into unpaid, so I think
you've been going.
We can circle back to anything. All right, so yeah, Big John. Wait a minute, so John. I keep. Do you prefer John or Jonathan? Because I think I've gone back and forth.
Oh, I don't care. Big John's been Massonomics forever. So
thought so. Okay.
I don't typically go by John, but I absolutely will for those guys.
Big Bacon.
And y'all. That works too.
So we got this game we like to play. So similar to overrated or underrated, we just kind of substituted unpaid in there. So unpaid or underrated. I'm gonna hit you with a couple here. Let's go with unpaid or underrated. Barney. The big purple dinosaur. Barney.
Man, I loved him when I was a kid, but
That's what I heard.
I've known nothing since then.
Does it even exist anymore? Who knows?
No.
Well, it's basically
I really don't think so.
Like it's not necessarily. I mean, it's up to you. You can create it. Look at it as how do I feel about him today, or if you were that infatuated as a kid, that kind of I would lean towards underrated. But I guess I don't know. Your mom typed like 3 sentences about it. I think so.
Well, for my mom's heart, I should probably say he's underrated. But in my adult head, all I can think of is how everything that was Barney owned smelled like maple syrup and pee. It just had that
like you problem than a Barney problem.
The guy at the Barney factory was like, "I want to pee on this."
Maple flavored bacon over there.
That's right. Hey, I guess that does work out.
So
no, man. If that's what young bacon liked, then we'll go for my mom's sake underrated.
All right, cool. All right, unpaid or underrated knee sleeves.
Knee sleeves. Knee sleeves are very, very underpaid. I will, or unpaid,
Yep.
not
Yeah.
underpaid. I've just never personally, I've never used them. And that's, it's not anything to bash, I don't really think they give that much of an advantage. I really think it is a mental game. I think it'll give, some people a sense of, just more self-confidence, feel better. But also, I mean, it does keep, knees warm. And if you do have any knee issues, I can absolutely see how, how they can be beneficial. But I've always been under the mindset of I try not to train with a belt. I try not to train with sleeves, like anything. Like obviously, when you get in the heavier weights and you're like, I'll use sleeves on the platform. Why would you not? Use a belt. Learn to properly brace. Have a good strong core. But when you're training for comp and everything, and you're trying to squeeze out, obviously put a belt on. Just learn how to brace against it, and the belt's not doing anything for you. You're just leveraging against the belt. So yeah, knee sleeves definitely unpaid.
I actually started just going raw. And I think it comes after my not the lift hard live easy, but the competition before that, where I would see these young kids putting on these tight sleeves. They're up against the rack, pushing their belt as tight as they possibly can. And that's when I kind of realized I was like, you guys don't know what those are for. And then I started asking myself, do I know what these are for? So now I lift raw as until I get to like my 85 to 100% like max lifts, I don't put anything on anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Typically, that's what I tell athletes and everything. I'm like, if about 80% and up, I think on training purposes, I think that's a good range to have use your belt. And like you said, if you're cinching it down to the point that you can't get that diaphragm, like you can't get a good breath, good brace. You don't get it.
You don't know why you're wearing that belt. You're wearing that belt because somebody told you it would help you lift. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing I even wear anymore at all is wrist wraps, but that's because I've got little baby wrists.
I love wrist wraps.
I've got like the
won't press
baby
or bench
Deadpool
without 'em.
hands. I've got like
Yeah.
I go to bench and my hands are like back like this on the empty bar. So I'm just like, just put the wraps on, man. Like just figure it out. But that's about it.
All right, my last one here. Will segue into for some of the belt talk. So you had mentioned you started working with Joe Sullivan. So unpaid or underrated, the breath belt.
The breath belt. Ooh.
Put you on the spot here.
That's evil.
Joe
Evil.
won't
I know.
listen. Joe's not
Hey,
going to
man.
listen to this podcast. So you say
No,
what
I'll
you
give him
truly mean.
whatever. Y'all tag him in it. That's okay. he'll just make my program suck more.
I'm so happy.
No, I would definitely say that the breath belt would be an unpaid gimmick. I can see. I mean, just like anything else, I guess. Like if you want to like preach on foam rollers or like one of those little knobby back massagers or I mean, I guess everything could have its benefits to it, but I'm also just throw weight on the bar and warm up. I don't I don't do a lot of gimmicks outside of that's like when I first got into powerlifting, everybody was like, you need to go train at this gym, it's got a deadlift bar. I was like, this is all deadlift bars, like what are you talking about?
I'm deadlifting on this bar. It's a deadlift bar.
Yeah. For a long time I didn't know like how to differentiate all my bars and everything.
One of the local gyms I follow up here had posted on their Instagram story the other day. It was like, it was a picture of this Texas squat bar and a fucking deadlift jack, and they were like, the caption was like, "What dumbass did this?" or "What monster chose violence today?" or something. And I was like, "Oh, I've deadlifted with my axle a bunch and like with stiff power bars, but deadlifting on a squat bar, that would be brutal." Yeah,
that's playing on hard mode for no reason. Like that's
because
the
it's like
opposite of a cheat code.
32 millimeter shaft. That's a son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's a big shaft.
Monster hands. That's what she said. All right.
Yeah,
I did eventually learn to like my deadlift bar, but mostly just because of the knurling. Right. For some reason, my power bar, I have the Bells of Steel, Bear Steel power bar. Love it.
Powerball.
Power bar.
Powerball.
But once I
Big
got
money.
that Texas deadlift bar, geez, like you do 2 or 3 reps and your hands are just like melting, like the skin's coming off. And there's just something about that I'm just like, that means I had a good session. So that's the one thing I kind of enjoy. Whether or not it's adding weight to my lifts, it's probably isn't.
Who came out with that deadlift bar probably like 3 years ago? The Kabuki one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kabuki has a pretty big bar, and then now there's you might see it pop up every now and then. The American Barbell came out with one in the last
The
like 6
chewy bar,
months.
right?
Well, that's their power bar, but they came out with it's got a weird it's got a weird fucking El Padrino or something like that, but it's like 4 inches wider than the Kabuki deadlift bar. So like the whip on it is fucking extreme.
I was about to say the tensile strength in the middle has probably got to be less if it's going to be longer.
Yep.
But that's like,
and they,
yeah, that's I didn't even know ABC was really doing anything. I know they closed the gym down, not so much the brand, I guess. That's who you're talking about, right?
I'm sorry. So American Barbell, it's like a real big company out in California that like does a bunch of commercial stuff, and they do
Oh,
some.
no, okay.
So yeah, this is like a legit like manufacturer. They are like an American made barbell company.
Okay.
But they're just not big into powerlifting really. And then so I don't know. It was honestly something from like there's a huge Discord community for home gym stuff, and there's even like a sub Discord of that of like people that are like so basically like one of the higher up guys at that company is like in this Discord. So like if people get enough people that like basically sign a petition to say, hey, make this for us, he'll like do a small like 50 bar run.
Gotcha.
And I
Okay.
think it was initially that, and now it is commercially available, but it's like a fucking $1,000 bar. But it's like
Okay.
it's like 8 feet long or something wild.
Yep. I want to get my hands on a
Kidding.
Kratos bar. I want to try one of those stupid
Oh, the
things.
10 footers, yeah.
Yeah.
I've played with one with like the adapters where it's like like I think Kurt Locker at Home Gym Con, which is like a regular deadlift bar, but then like the fucking 3 feet extra on either side.
Yep. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That video that's on it's pinned at the top of my Instagram where Gideon's jumping around in the garage. I actually do think that's like an elephant bar. It's I mean it's
Okay.
one of the longer bars y'all are talking about.
Yep.
There's a powerlifting gym. It's not too far from my old house. Chris Lentini owns it. He calls it Iron Empire Barbell. And he's like Massonomics, man. If there's a bar out there that he can get, he's gonna get it. I mean, that's
Tanner buying a bar? No.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, he's got the Mars bar and everything at his gym. You can basically go in there and just have like a holiday of just like, I'm gonna go off program today and just use all these different bars for fun.
Nice.
That would be cool. All right, I've got a couple for you, and then we'll hit your game, and then we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
Unpaid or underrated kilts?
Kilts. Definitely underrated, man. I mean,
Hell yeah.
that's just it's a statement piece. It's a statement piece with a statement piece underneath it. And I will say, man, that's on the coldest days, it'll still do you proud. You get a lot of heat under that thing.
I've got 3.
No, I've only got my one. But
Yeah, I've got a utility kilt. I've got my family tartan, and I've got one from the old Irish military.
Oh, that's rad.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'd rather wear a kilt than anything else in my life.
That would be pretty rad if we could just go day to day wearing kilts. I'd be down with that.
There's nothing stopping us. Just other people looking at us funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's never mattered. I think kilts in like the fall and the winter, and then Speedos in the summer.
Yep. Little shorts, little silkies.
Yep. I'd be content with that.
All right. Unpaid or underrated smelling salts?
Oh, absolutely underrated. Gosh, Travis with Obsidian, man, he's been gracious to me. I had the smelling salts with my baby face on them. Like that was,
you did.
That was wild. No, I love smelling salts though. He typically keeps me pretty well loaded with that, and I try to spread the love. Anytime I talk with somebody or someone helps me out in the gym or something, I typically try to throw a bottle. Because I think they're so fun, man. And I mean, even if you don't use it for lifting purposes, I mean,
I have them at work.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
Working
even
retail over in November. I was like, no, I'm putting these in the drawer, and like I would pull them out every once in a while, and then you're surrounded by customers, and you're just like, fine, fuck it, pop it, and then everybody's looking at you funny, but then they kind of hit a whiff of it, and you can see them all just like, oh, what's wrong with you, dude? This one might fall short. I don't know. Unpaid or underrated, Tacoma FD, the TV show.
man, I haven't watched enough of it to really like. It's it's pretty damn funny from what I've seen.
It's the Super Troopers guys,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they
I started
made
an
What,
episode and never got back to it.
what do they call it? Lizard, something
Broken
lizard,
Lizard. Broken
broken
Lizard,
lizard.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, those guys are insanely humorous. Like they're so funny. I'd go underrated. I'd go underrated because I know. I mean, their depiction of everything. I mean, when Super Troopers was amazing. Um, I think they do. I think they do their homework well on trying to represent whatever they're trying to portray, whether it's the fire service or the police. Like I think they do a good job. I'd go underrated with them.
All right. Well, then I think you passed unpaid and underrated.
Yes, sir. You
Hooray.
did it.
Hell yeah!
Add it to the
Give me a
list.
hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
brother. Well, I think today, well, I guess it's not today, but yesterday, was it Stone Cold turned 60? How crazy is that?
Yesterday. Yeah.
That's like, I mean, fuck, we're 40, so yeah, that's that tracks. Well,
Yeah.
we as in Joey and I pretty much. Jonathan, I think are you even 30?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 34. I just turned 34 earlier this month, December 1st.
That's
Yeah,
you. Okay.
But
You have the same birthday as my little girl. That was the only reason I didn't really.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything. I was just like, nah, my focus is on her.
Yep.
So
I feel that.
and then
The
I'm the 13th. Taylor Swift has the same birthday as me, which is awesome. Yeah, and Stone Cold's the 19th. Or no, Stone Cold is the 18th. My wife is the 21st. Like it's
my wife.
my wife. Finally. I keep doing it, and it's just like Massonomics let it die, but I refuse to let it die. So I say it at work every once in a while. I'll just be like, my wife, and people are looking at me like, "Are you?"
I had to.
Did Davis send in a Q&A or questionnaire?
I had like four. Your mom. Fuck, like two other people did. So I had four separate people did. I'd have to look.
Okay.
I don't have it in front
Yeah,
of me.
that's fine. It's Davis's birthday today, so I was going to tell him happy birthday if he did submit one. If he didn't, I was going to tell him to go kick rocks.
Have a happy birthday unless you fail to submit. In that case, I don't care.
No, you said yours is on the 13th. My mom's is on the 12th. I got a cousin who has it on the 11th. December is just the month of babies.
Yeah, I gave up on my birthday once I had kids. I was just like, well, but I mean, except for this year, the 40th, a bunch of my wife put together a GoFundMe. To send me to Crew Falls. So they actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the closest to a sponsored athlete I'll ever be. A bunch of my friends got together. Somebody donated $6.09, David, and then somebody donated $69. But then everybody just kept doing $69 till we got to our goal. There was a couple outliers.
That's amazing.
Like, two people did some crazy high amounts, but it was just $69 by like a bunch of people. So not only was it hilarious, I got to Crew Falls.
That's the best way to get there. 69 your whole way to Crew Falls.
Better than hitchhiking. All right.
It might taste the same after a couple days.
Oh, geez. Like Keith, you always gotta like. There's a line, and we step on it, and then you're like, "Nah."
There's no line.
Push.
I'm on the wrong side of history most times.
All right, we got a few minutes left. I think John, you said you had some games for us.
Okay, so this was just on the top of my head earlier. I'm gonna throw out a couple of clues each time. I'm gonna see which one of y'all gets it first.
Okay.
So it's an initial game. So I'm gonna throw out some facts about each thing, and we're gonna see who gets it first between you and Keith.
A state?
No. So the initials.
Yeah.
So the initials.
Oh, okay.
Initials we're going off of are TB.
Okay.
TB.
Okay. This guy divorced his supermodel spouse in 2022?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, damn. Okay, good. Okay, Keith's one up.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
All right.
Joy doesn't know who anyone is, so I'm going to do really good at this game.
Okay. Serial killer.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Damn it. Little faster than me. Little faster than me.
Well, now that I know, so everything's going to be TV. So that
Yeah.
it didn't register at that until the day. I got you. Cool beans.
Okay. One of the owners of Massonomics.
Tanner Baird.
Fuck. Good job. Got me.
We know where
I was
my
like,
brain is.
I was like, Tommy, not B. Fuck.
Okay. This one is going to be possessive by one of the Massonomics owners, and it's the type of dog he has.
What the fuck is Tommy's big ass dog?
Yeah, it's a
terrier. No, Bernie. I was just
yeah. There you go.
I know it's Bernie.
Bernie is a big fucking fluffy.
So yeah, but you basically got it. It's Bernedoodle.
Okay.
So Bernie's his name though. I did put Tommy's Bernie on here.
Oh, okay.
There's
TV.
the TV.
Yeah, Tommy's Bernie. Yeah,
Gotcha.
that dog loved me. That like in that garage, that dog was like avoiding everybody, and then I would go back in the corner because I'm also like don't want to be around people that much, and then me and the dog would just hide there.
It's a lot of
That's
dogs.
the best friend to have. He's a good dude. I loved him. Okay, this guy rapped the news on Jimmy Fallon, night anchor.
Fuck. I don't think I ever watched that Tonight Show.
Sorry, say that thing one more time.
He was a nighttime news anchor.
Nope.
Nope. American journalist. He was on the Today Show.
Tom Brokaw.
Yes.
No.
Okay. There you go. Good job.
Damn.
Tom Brokaw. Yep.
Okay, one more. All
That's
right. Okay, this is a serious bacterial infection.
Tuberculosis.
There you go. All right. Joey won with the last one. And Joey did get 2 for Tanner. Because I mean, it being a Massonomics podcast, you know.
Bonus points. Actually, as soon as you said TB, my brain went tuberculosis. Like that was the first thing I thought.
Yeah. You're saying that word so wrong, Joey. What do you say? Say it slower. You're saying it so fast it sounds weird. You're saying it.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah, you're saying it's like turbulence. It's not turbulent locust. It's like
turbulent locusts.
Turbulent locusts. Yeah.
So that's half our bits is like either the Canadian way he says it or just the Joey way he says it, and how it catches me off guard sometimes.
Yeah, there's there's a series of words that I've never heard. I've only read, and also like it's tuberculosis. Like I get that, but like that's not funny. Tuberculosis.
Turbulence.
Turbulent locusts. Yep.
Okay, well I got my own FMK for y'all real quick.
Okay.
So it's pretty generic probably, but burpees, Bulgarian split squats, and hack squat AMRAPs.
Oh god.
I'm killing burpees any fucking day of the week. Because if my knee was good, I wouldn't hate Bulgarian split squats. Like I love the pump you get from them, but
I hate them so much.
Oh, I don't mind. Just my right knee won't let me stabilize, so I just fall over. So like I can't do it without holding on to something. Because unlike Tanner, I didn't tear my ACL, but I came damn close. So yeah, I'm killing burpees.
I'm killing the one we were just what were we just talking about? What was the split squats? Yeah, I don't have unilateral mobility, so I can't do a split squat very well. So I'm killing those hardcore.
I will fuck those.
I'll fuck burpees.
Yeah.
So y'all are both marrying hack squat AMRAPs.
Yeah,
just because
I wouldn't mind that.
I would. Yeah,
that's an evil pain in itself too.
Yeah.
I think I would though. I think I would go marry hack squats, fornicate the Bulgarians, and then kill the burpees as well.
Yeah, burpees can go right away forever.
Oh,
burpees.
Yeah, I'm gonna F burpees and kill
burpees. Really, yeah. You don't really get any gains off of those. At least the other two give you like some muscle. Burpees just suck.
like a decade ago, and I was like first getting into fitness and was super overweight and had no muscle. Like now I'm super overweight but have muscle mass. Before I was super overweight and had no muscle mass. So different Keith, but like I lost a lot of weight just by like, working with a personal trainer, and like burpees was like a finisher we did a lot sometimes too. And it was just like, I don't know. I've and harken back to like playing football, and not really, it was more up downs, but kind of burpee adjacent. So
Well, burpees are really fun if you want to throw up and be sober. I think like they're
Yeah.
the worst. And the problem is I jump when I do them. Like I can't not jump whenever I do a burpee. And so I have like a double bounce for some reason, and it adds more to my ridiculous attempts at them.
John, I got one more question for you. I don't think we can cut this whenever, but I saw you. I was scrolling through your Instagram and I saw some log lifts on there. So, is strongman something you've ever dabbled with, or you ever think you'd ever actually do a show? Have you done a show? Where are you at in strongman versus powerlifting?
I've done two. I've done two strongman competitions, and I really love it. I loved it's a different form of training.
Sure
And it
is.
really, you're not doing the same old three movements all the time. I think
Hmm.
there's a lot of that really, once I started strongman competing, I actually lost a little bit of weight and was still pretty damn strong, because there's a lot more of just like conditioning work that comes
Hmm.
along with it. And it does it in a fun aspect of, you're not on a treadmill or something, you're running heavy ass sandbags or yokes,
Oh
or
yeah.
there's so I really enjoy strongman training a lot. But I did one competition, and I came in second to a uh absolute unit of a man. Um Trey Godbold. He's impressive, man. He's strong as hell. He's a local dude. And then I've actually done three. I've done three. I came. There was another one I came in second at the end of this last summer, or it was the beginning of last summer. It was kind of fresh out of my divorce. I literally signed up for it the night before and
Hmm.
just showed up and did it. And we had to do, the last event was to win second place, and we had to go back and forth. Second and third had to go back and forth to secure who was second and third with a 250-pound sandbag
Oof.
over the bar.
Probably did a fair amount of reps. That's
Each
amazing.
time you got a minute to do it. I think I won with 53,
Oh
Jesus.
and
my
that
god.
was
Your back
that.
pump had to be suck. That had to be the most
I
annihilated back pump you've ever had in your life.
I was crippled for days, man.
Oh,
Like, I mean, that
Jesus.
I was like, I should have just, like, in my head, I could not give up second place.
Oh my God,
Just
53.
finally he just threw his hands like that, and I was like, thank God. Because when we got to 40, I was like, if he goes again, I'm tapping. And then I just couldn't. I couldn't make my. Yeah, so that sucked, but I'm very proud of that one. And then
That had to be like a 20-minute fucking event almost, I bet, because you guys were probably
oh
towards the
no,
end
it
of
almost went like an
towards
hour.
okay, because towards the end you're probably taking your time. You're probably taking the full, like, 45
Yeah,
seconds,
almost a
50
minute.
seconds to
Yeah,
break.
for sure, for
That's
sure.
wild.
Yeah.
I bet
So
next
it
next
it took
next year
forever.
they're using a heavier bag for that one.
Yeah, no, the 250 was plenty enough by the end of it, though.
I
That
fucking
sucked.
imagine.
But yeah, the I do. Strongman. What sucks about strongman is, like, right now I weigh about 242, and so I'm on the light end of the heavyweights,
Yeah,
and
you
so
need to be
typically
275 or you need to be like 219. Nothing in, but like
exactly,
anything in
yeah,
between, you're giving up way too much to 275 if you actually want to be like competitive.
exactly. So I'm in a tough point for strongman on that aspect. I could probably hang locally, but I mean, to ever do it like
Hmm.
nationally wouldn't be a thing for me. But it is
Cool.
fun.
Agreed. Cool beans.
Cool
Well,
beans.
well, this was fun, man.
Cool
I'm glad
beans.
you're able to
Yeah.
make it on.
No, incredible
Yeah, dude.
talking to you. I missed you, man.
Yeah, no, it's really I really appreciate you giving me the time, the opportunity. I think the world of you guys. I think the world of Massonomics. This crew, it's pretty amazing what those dudes have put together. In the time that they've just been a thing. It's just been them having fun, and, like, they've had an absolutely incredible, just plethora of people come together that are
I gotta, I
yeah,
gotta,
Yeah,
I gotta,
I
I,
are.
I keep hearing one of the running jokes is that like they're no longer in control. Like they might be steering the ship, but like the rest of us are doing
Y'all
our
could be
own
over.
thing under the Massonomics umbrella. Like we've got a
Well,
Yeah.
podcast about
yeah.
it. Like
I'm not sure how in the know you are anymore. I think you're in Discord, but I don't know how often you're in our Discord, are you? But
Never. Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna quiz you here. How many Massonomic supporting members do you think there are roughly? 300, 400, or 500?
I would say 500.
There is. We hit 500 this year in 2024.
Yep.
I think we added about, roughly 100. I think every year we kind of, lose 20 or 30 and gain 50 or 70, kind of something
Yeah.
like that. Because at least, I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but we definitely had 400 last year and we have 500 this year, and I know people left, so it's pretty cool. It's a good community.
No, it's
I'm looking for it.
amazing. Yeah, y'all are doing a really badass thing with it too, man. And it's crazy that Tanner and Tommy wake up on a daily basis, and it's just like they've they go to their normal day to day job, but it's like this is a lifestyle that they've created for so many people.
Yep. And then the gym certification thing, like it's in our list of general topics. John, you can hang out if you want. We're gonna jump into some like general Massonomic stuff, but I understand if you don't want to hang out for that.
I'm gonna see if my boy is still even up. He may. I got to be at the firehouse in the morning, so I'm gonna at least go kiss that dude's head and get him down. So I just want to say thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I think the world of both of you guys. And if I don't see you at the Arnold, hopefully I'll see you at the Arnold. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you at the Classic.
All right,
Yeah,
John.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
One last time, just hit them on where they gonna find her on Instagram.
you can find me at Bacon and Beer Bells. Yeah, name's Jonathan
Awesome.
Oldham. So,
All right, man. We'll catch you in a few
all right,
minutes.
guys.
Probably. Take
Thanks,
care, brother.
man.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for coming
Cheers,
on.
man. You have a great night. Yeah, bud.
Yes, sir.
Love you, man.
Love you, buddy.
All right, now we're gonna jump into general topics, which is awesome because Dodge just showed up.
Yeah, Dodge.
So
We'll let you
in
chat.
a rare event, we jumped right in with John because he might have had to go. So we're gonna do the general topics. So if you want to join us for chatting about some stuff that went down, I think we got about 10 minutes to
That's fair.
get through that.
I'll chat
Keith,
about some stuff.
yeah, go ahead, Keith. Lead the way, buddy.
Let's just kick off, I guess, right last week's episode. So
Yep.
it was the Massonomics 2024 prediction recap, and then the 2025 predictions that they set in stone. So as always, I think it's just like what they say. It was like their fourth year doing it. So I was trying to remember back of like, do I even? I kind of remember some of Tanner's guesses and some of Tommy's guesses, and then it was funny because Tanner had no clue what he voted on like 90% of the stuff. So like,
I'm
I always
gonna
get
be
a kick
that.
out of
I'll
that.
be that in a year. I have
Yeah.
no clue what I voted.
Well, I mean, we kind of had the same thing, and I had to like. It took me a while to find our shit and actually go through and like find that thing that Nate made where we can like have the transcript. And it took me a long time to actually find all that, but I guess my favorite part and really was the fact that they're still trying to get Buddy Caps on. That would be great. I'd love to get
I
Buddy
laughed at
Caps
that
on.
too.
And then, Tanner saying no to getting 5 bars in 2024, and he actually got 10 plus. Really got a kick out of that. So for all of those reasons, I'll go ahead and give that 5 out of 5 Scott Dodd's hairnets.
Yeah, I did listen to it. I actually even got to watch the YouTube video this week, which I never get to do. So
We did
like
have a YouTube video.
I've had a full week of
We had 2
Massonomics
YouTube videos since this have come out, so we got to hit on both those. Yep.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was their Crew Falls recap was half as good as ours. No, I'm just kidding. That it was great. It was fun hearing about all the fun that even I wasn't there for all of it, right? I didn't go to sushi. I didn't. So, it's always good to hear these like, what are we going to do in the next year? Because I know that they plan on being here for another year.
It's always nice to hear that for sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and give that 5 out of 5 bars that Tanner is definitely going to buy this year.
Yes, sir.
That part had me rolling, just thinking of the strongman comp coming up. They're gonna have to buy axles. I'm guessing. I don't know with all the different lanes, so that could be 2 or 3 axles that they have to get.
That's true. Yeah, they had a quick call. Yeah,
I bet he didn't even think of that.
Right?
Yeah. How long till Tanner gets a Kratos bar? Like how long do you think? until a mammoth or Kratos bar shows up at Massonomics gym.
One of these days, I don't know. That's such a
Have you ever
big
pulled on
bar.
that thing? It's ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't wait. So there's a company here in Canada. They're called Says Strength, but they're out of like Newfoundland, so shipping is stupid. But they make an attachment to go on your deadlift bar, like you were
Yep.
saying. I didn't want to bring
Yep.
it up because I didn't want to take up any of John's time. But
Facts.
they it goes on the ends, and yeah, it extends your deadlift bar by like 3 feet total. And
And we got a company in America that does those too, made both strength.
yeah, God, I wanna try something like
Go
that.
Doug.
Or because it was just funny. I saw a guy, he's doing these videos on Instagram. He's killing me right now, and he just like how to stupidly explain strongman, and he's just like,
Yeah, someone
oh,
shared that, and I
it
started
was me.
following him, and
Yeah, it was
yeah, I
me.
was
He's
like,
so funny.
I still have mixed feelings. Like, I'll consume it because it's strongman, and now it's kind of
Consume.
my world. But yep, but I
Right?
don't know.
Yeah, he said like this is a Kratos bar. It'll make you feel stronger than you really are. And I thought that was really funny. He also said, "This is tacky because rocks don't have handles, except the ones that do." And that to me was just like, how do you explain strongman to somebody when that's a true statement?
Yeah.
Anyway, big drop, big drop.
Huge.
Yep,
It's sold
fulfillment
out
center
drop.
couldn't even handle us.
I
I
And
missed
wish I
that's
out.
knew. I wish I knew
that's
how many he ordered.
I
I
think it's
think
got to
I
be
so
60. I think it's
because
60.
I counted when Tanner tapped out on whatever the day of the drop was that he wasn't going to add anymore. I think I had counted and there was like 39 or 49.
Yeah.
And I know he added a bunch the next day. So yeah, I would say it's 60 is
Yeah.
usually what they bring in for stuff, I think. So the fact that they sold what 50 full because Tanner, he took one and Tommy got one. So the fact that they sold 58 in like 90 minutes was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then looking through the map and like there's a lot of people that like all right, there was a lot of names I recognize. There's a lot of other names that I was like I only vaguely know you or I've never heard of you at all. So like that's pretty cool that like when the lurkers come out of the shadows and we actually like see their names on stuff, it's like oh you okay. So that's like there's a whole subsect of people that like
Subset.
you just yeah, is it set not sect subsect? Yeah, I guess subset would work. Be accurate, I suppose. They've just like don't talk on Discord as much or aren't recognizable names to me. And then it's just like they fucking spent $60 to get this banner that's like really only a niche thing that like unless you were really, really, really into it, you wouldn't waste the money.
Well, I
So
wasn't
it's
even
pretty
gonna.
Of
cool.
I
all the
was
things of all the things I've missed out on, I missed out on that by 30 minutes, and that's the one I'm the
oh
most pissed off about.
I
I
can
mean, I know he
imagine.
says he's doing it again, but
I mean, we'll all know that the second round isn't as cool as the first round, Scott. And like, even though you'll get one, I will judge you harshly, and you
I
and
went
everybody
hard
else.
on those memes too. Like we are judging you first round.
Like, I
But
will
I was
gatekeep over everything just for the fact of gatekeeping's fun.
so I
it's all
messaged
right. I got the
Morgan.
first jacket.
It's
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
Good
I
job.
messaged Morgan and I was like, is $60 worth it to have the DILF dungeon on the map?
Yeah.
Because the name is so stupid, but do I really care? And then she was like, we'll talk when you get home. And I got home and I was like, there's literally only 3 left. Like I'm buying one. She's like, fuck, do it. Like she just go ahead. Like at that rate, I got the permission because there was only 3 left. So yeah, the DILF
The one
dungeon is
time
in the
only
lead.
3 left was true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big Brim probably missed it this round though. Yeah, that's good stuff. So I had a strongman show last week. We didn't really get to talk about it because we
Congrats
were
on the PRs, brother.
appreciate it. Yeah, I think well, yeah, it was yeah, because we had recorded on the Thursday and my show was the Saturday, so it's the first time since then. So had a great day. Came in dead last as I usually do because novice weights are still heavy and fuck everybody that thinks I need to go open. But I will be going masters after lift hard, live easy, more than likely, because I will have that as an option now. So, but
Masters can still be heavy.
no, I know, but like at least the shows that I've been looking at, like it's like 20% heavier than novice, give or take. But then like some of them are the same. So like that's at least achievable. Whereas open, it's like fucking 50% more than I can do on certain lifts. I'm like, there's no fucking like I'll just go back to powerlifting and you guys essentially kicked me out of strongman because you're fucking gatekeepers. So man,
Don't say you guys. I'm not part of this shit.
you guys and the
I'm
fucking the
rooting you
strongman.
on and cheering you on every
I
step
know.
of the
No,
way,
no.
brother.
It was a figurative, you guys. But
Yeah.
but yeah, hit the highlight for me was hitting that 115 circus dumbbell that I've been chasing for like 3 fucking months from the first time I touched a
Dude, you had
circus
some
dumbbell.
pop on it too.
It wasn't bad, yeah, and it was I missed it at first, and I was like, man, I don't know if it's gonna go up, and then fucking it was a it was one of those like it went up, but I was like had to get my feet planted and everything, so it was a solid what felt like 3 seconds, but it was really like half a second before I got the down command. But then did you see the video? The pad because they were running 6 circus dumbbells at the same time, like two lanes doing a medley of three, so they were like pulling random pads that I've never even seen at that gym before. So the first pad that was had to go down, it was like an extra springy fucking pad, so there was no like absorption of it. It was just
Mhm.
rebound. So that fucking 115-pound circus dumbbell literally came within an inch of fucking cold clocking me right
Yeah,
in the
I
face.
saw
Yeah.
you
It
commented
was
that like, wow, I didn't
uh
realize I almost got knocked out there.
yeah, that would have been bad. But yeah, that was a strongman
No,
show
man, I
and
watched you training for that, and like, I'm not surprised. Like you got really strong, so good for you.
appreciate it. And then some more lifting. I
Well, yeah,
was
let's
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
whatever you
you.
got.
Let's talk about you messing around with a cannonball. What the hell's wrong with you?
That was so cool. So
It is really cool, but
I was
like
up in the
that was
Adirondacks.
198 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, 198 pounds. It
Yeah, that
was
was fucking
I think it
dense.
was I think it was
Yeah.
13 inch. Yeah, it had to be 13 because 18 is like not that small, so it was definitely 13 inches. Because like so traveling for work, found a gym. Gym didn't necessarily have like open hours, so I had to like text the guy to like set up an appointment that he was going to be there for a day pass. So he had already seen my Instagram and stuff. So as soon as I walked in, we were just shooting the shit like, we're old buddies. Saw some Massonomics stickers on the wall. And I was like, "Oh, so do you actually follow Massonomics? Are you like in the know and everything?" And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I like their stuff. I've listened to a couple podcasts." And I was like, "Are you familiar with, Unpaid and Underread?" And he was like, "No, I don't know this one." I was like, "Okay." So I kind of was like, tried to talk it up a little bit, but he didn't seem to,
Yeah, you need a calendar, man. You got to give them those
yeah.
calendars.
But so talked shit about gym equipment for a while. He went and showed me this area, and he was whatever it was. Like he prides it on being like the something. He has like a bunch of Revolutionary War shit. I didn't really get the whole gist of it, but like he's got some really cool old stuff in the gym. Had that monster squat rack, but the highlight was the
That
cannonball. Like
squat rack was sick looking
it
though, bro.
was massive, but the cannonball. So he rolls it out, and he's like, "All right, there's like a gym challenge. Just basically, get any new member or whatever. Like this is the challenge. It's like it's not even to like lap it. It's literally to break the floor. Just get air under it. There's people. He said there are some people here that can actually load it to like 54 inches or whatever. Which
Oh my God.
I know, right? So yeah, I fucked with it. Like I think the video that I posted was I had lifted it in front of him with him after he gave me some pointers, and I didn't have a video going. So then I came back a little bit later and did it with a video, and it like it took me like 4 or 5 times to actually. So I had to like crop that video down to just like one fail and one make because it was like fucking misses. But it was very weird. It was like I don't know, 13 inches. So it's like it was essentially a big basketball, slightly bigger than a basketball.
Yeah,
Fucking waste. Yeah. So pick up a 200-pound basketball, like.
And you found it harder than a 200-pound Atlas stone.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
absolutely.
like
Really?
Yeah.
when like there's no fucking way. Like it felt like I've never felt like something I was trying to pull and it had like magnetic fucking force pulling it down to the ground. It
Because
was
you're not
wild.
like, at least with an Atlas stone, like you're going over it, like you're getting your body involved,
Yeah, this is all
right?
like forearms.
This is, yeah, like you've just got to get
Or
under
it's
it and hope you can stand up.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because
I wouldn't even try it. My
his
dad,
advice was get a little bit wider and like kind of like roll it onto your forearms as
yeah,
best you can.
yeah.
Like so that's essentially. And once I did that, it kind of popped up, but. It would have been cool to like actually at least like stand up with it, like maybe not lap it, but just like I don't know, like get it more than a couple inches off. But like I basically broke the ground and it kind of just rolled out of my hands. But it was really fun. It did have a little nipple on it to kind of help be able to dig your fingers underneath of it because you put like
Nipple.
the nipple part down. And I was like,
Nipple.
because I couldn't imagine like because if someone was loading that and then they fucking no, like, literally there was a fucking like a half-inch jagged fucking nipple coming out of the one side. I don't know what else to
Nipple.
fucking call it. It was an erect nipple that would have fucking cut someone open if they
Nipple.
loaded it and it rolled down their
Yeah,
body. It would have hurt so bad. Fuck you guys. The nipple,
the
the
200
cannonball
pound
nipple.
titty.
It was it was pretty cool. The squat rack was cool too. He basically had like an old like commercial squat rack that has those really shitty J cups that weigh 30 pounds and make like fucking 1 foot jumps essentially in height. But like he put it like inside of like huge fucking pillars, like log pillars, So like at a distance, it was, this huge fucking rack. And it was still really cool because he had like bat wings coming off the sides of it with plate storage and shit. So it was the worst part about it was having to squat into a fucking mirror though, because I was like,
Oh,
I was just on an off day. I was coming off the show. My coach didn't have anything on the program this week. He just told me to, if I make it to the gym, great. If not, we'll start on Sunday. So, it was pretty crowded. So I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna squat. So I worked up to a heavy single, and it was pretty cool. But it was I don't know, it was a good event though. But yeah, that 200-pound cannonball was just wild.
yeah. And then you got bombed by your wife.
Yeah, and then I get home. Oh, and there's a slight story to that. So like, I was, mofo can suck the biggest bag of dicks because New York is a big fucking state. I left the hotel at 7 a.m. this morning and didn't get fucking back to my office till like 1 o'clock. And I was driving the entire fucking time minus like, you know, 40 minutes between like 4 or 5 stops for food, gas, bathroom, whatever. So it was like on paper it was a 5 hour drive. And that was going from the tip of the state to the middle of the state. It was not even like going to like far end and far end. But yeah, that was a brutal drive, but it was beautiful, beautiful country through the Adirondack Mountains. Got some videos and pictures of that. A couple nose selfies that Joey loves, and yeah. So setting up the story. I'm exhausted. I finally get home. I'm fucking dehydrated. I'm starving. I get food ordered. I'm sitting on the couch. I just getting comfortable, and my wife calls and was like, "Hey, I need you to go downstairs and look for something for me." There was like a list. She was setting me up, but like I didn't know this, and I was just like, "God damn it! I'm literally just trying to eat food and drink some water and not be like sick and gross." And I was like, "Sure, honey, I'll go downstairs." And then I'm walking downstairs, and yeah, she had the Buddy the fucking Elf hanging from my squat
Yeah,
rack,
hell
and
yeah.
it was really funny, but I was still so annoyed that she got me up from my food for that because I was just like, so I was
Don't
kind of
be
a
a
dick
baby.
during.
It's great.
Yeah, I wasn't the most gracious gag gift receiver in the moment. And then I finished my dinner and I called her back 10 minutes later and I was like, all right, you did good. You got me good. But it was just bad timing.
Yeah, no,
And then,
she's in.
yeah, yeah, she's good. She's
She's
a
in.
winner. Yep. On the holiday theme, also we got the I'm sure Joey didn't get his yet because it's, Canada doesn't have a mail system anymore, but the Cessna's sent out a Christmas card, so we got one of those. It was pretty
And
cool.
that brought a lot of smiles to our house. That was
Yeah,
freaking
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I will say, like, when I flipped it over, I was expecting their open powerlifting profiles, and all their lifts to be listed there. So, Big Jess, for next year, I want to see a pumpkin pie in your hand and your powerlifting numbers on the card somewhere. And then we guess we can finish up with the YouTube video. So which one did we talk about? Did we talk about no, because the recap one came out the day after we recorded last week. So there was the full recap, like the 10-minute recap they did of
Yep.
like the whole weekend of,
I
from their
like
perspective.
we just did a whole episode on the
No, I
recap.
know.
Like, I'm
It's
not
just
sure
more
we
of
need to talk about
no, no,
that.
I don't. I'm just saying. And then today's video was the YouTube tour. I like to at least
Sorry.
mention them.
Can you say Los Campeones?
No, that Casey's gym.
Okay. Yeah, Casey, let's just keep calling it that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
good
so
call. Good call.
it was cool. I saw some stuff I don't think I even saw in person, and like, it was a really cool video. We all were, well, we all, as in you and I, Dodds, you didn't want to drive out there this time, so he didn't make it. But Joey and I were heavily featured in a couple different lifting scenes, as well as there wasn't a ton of crew that were there that weren't featured in the background, at least at one
Yeah.
point. So it's always cool to like, that's not why we spend $1,000 to go out there to get on YouTube for 30 seconds, but it's still, it's more like, it adds up to like the lore of like trying to convince your partner of like, well, it's going to be cool. I should go. This is one of the reasons why it's cool.
One of the parts I was looking forward to was when they walked up and started talking about the GHR. And Tanner goes, "Oh, somebody found that." What was funny was I had literally just turned around, pointed the water bottle to Hannah, and went, "Oh, the original drink spotter. Somebody finally figured out its purpose." And that's when Tanner came over and also made the same joke. So when like you can see in the YouTube video, you can see us all laughing because I had literally just cracked that, and I was like, "Yes, Massonomic
that would
Store
have
lives on."
that would have been the perfect story to clip too if you called it a reverse hyper instead of a GHR.
Uh, sure. Um,
I'm just saying.
and then Yeah, I didn't realize that he was filming me as I was like, Ryan, can you show me how to use the pendulum squat? Because like I think I
I thought
really
you.
tried that thing.
I thought you jumped in just to get on camera because it was like
No, I didn't
perfect.
realize they were filming me because I was
That's
just
funny.
like, Ryan, show me how to, because I think the owner's Casey's wife had showed him how to use it, and then he was showing me how to use it, and that's when I realized when it was released today that Tommy was filming me doing that. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't realize that I was going to be included in that because I would have put weight on it.
What, what did Tanner say? There was something in Discord like in reference to that, but it was like you. I don't know. It's like a reference a woman's name or something.
I said Vanna White. I said I
Yeah,
got
what
to
the fuck?
Vanna
Isn't
White.
that a singer or something? I didn't get
Jesus
that reference.
Christ,
I don't
dude.
fucking know what you're talking
You don't know
about.
who Vanna White is?
It's just she's a singer, right? Maybe. I don't
Mm.
fucking know.
Good Lord.
Shut up. Fuck you guys.
No, she's from The Price is Right. She was the
You're wrong,
attractive
Oh.
too.
lady.
She's from Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, thank you. No,
Okay.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the same to me. It's all the same game show.
Well, Price is Right is actually good.
But she
Wheel
would
of
turn the
Fortune's dumb.
letters. Like she
No,
was
I
the
know
pretty
who it
lady
is.
that would
Yeah,
turn the
yeah.
letters on the Wheel of Fortune.
I got you.
She's
So
like 80 and
you're
still hot. Come on.
Yeah. Well, she's Vanna White. She's always gonna be hot.
Yeah.
good
Anyway.
deal.
Anyway.
I-
I can't wait to get ragged on for the people that actually listen this far to be like, fuck, Joey doesn't understand game shows. I know game shows. No, I don't. Want to
You wanna
round it
bring
out
us-
here, buddy?
Yes, sir. Big Scott, you want to do a Massnomics ad read for us real quick? You got 45
Oh,
seconds.
shit.
Hit us.
On the spot.
Yes, sir.
If you love missing out on drops because the crew was so insane and sells them out in less than 2 hours, then why don't you go ahead and be a Massonomics supporter as well?
I dig it. I dig it. I'm glad I threw that curveball at you. So, all right. Obviously, we have our affiliate links we like you to go use: Obsidian, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt-Fed Strength, and apparel from the Strength Co. And Big Scott, where are they going to find you at?
Dods_Dodzilla on Instagram.
Joey,
Hey.
where you
Watch
at,
me
buddy?
chase down Toby and beat him to a 700-pound deadlift.
I just want him to hit 669.
And by the way, I wore your shirt at Crew Falls on purpose.
Oh, I saw immediately.
Did that one on purpose. I'm at just so everybody next time you need to delay a plane for me. Joey _MLECZKO on Instagram.
I still found I found Matthias's card in my wallet again today. I finally took it. I'm
You
sorry,
left
Matthias.
your wallet at breakfast.
I did throw.
And so while you're in the bathroom, two
Oh,
things
he
happened.
fucked with me. You guys,
Yeah. Two things happened. You left your wallet right there. So
it's
Matthias
Crew, it's
goes,
safe.
okay, so he picks up your wallet, puts in your card, and I turn to him and because I'm protective of you, you're my friend, I was like, what'd you do? And he's like, oh, I put my card in. I'm like, that's great. And then as soon as that happened, the lady came down and went, oh, an open spot, and put the syrup down right where you were sitting. And I was like, we couldn't have planned that better.
God. That is
Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah, Matthias messaged you good.
Oh, good job, Matthias.
At least you didn't leave your phone there and have everybody take pictures on it for you to discover later. That's always the best.
I wish.
Great.
He probably
So-
did leave his phone. Like he just trusts Crew so much. He was like, wallet, phone. I'm gonna go
Oh, yeah, I
pee,
don't-
guys. And
oh,
just
yeah, I
like
don't
walked
care.
away like it was a setup.
That's good stuff. So, you can find me on Instagram at KeithHoneycutt73. Go follow my Orange Gym, then a wine cellar. Please check out Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, unpaidinternpodcast.com. We got a YouTube, and we'll see you next Tuesday.